Hello everybody and welcome. Class tonight is going to be the last in the series of promotion techniques. So tonight we're looking at brown belts. If you made it all the way here, congratulations. This is the last belt we can test you for in this club. Once you've got your brown belt or EQ, you go and you gotta be tested by Judo Alberta. So we have, as always with belt tests, go back and make sure you're strong on all the other techniques. So when you do a brown belt test, we're going to ask you for Ogoshi, Taetoshi, Ponce Anagi. Because if your Ponce Anagi sucks, then your brown belt throws are going to suck. If your Ogoshi is weak, your Uchimata Makikomi is going to be weak. If you don't have those concepts, you need to go back and make sure that they're solid. So, let's get right into it. Sumio-toshi. Step. Corner drop. Oguruma. Let's pull blue into this one. Stop.
We filmed both belt tests back to back, so I really like having blue.
Yo. Yoko Wakare. So step in for a throw. Ooh. The other way you see Yoko Wakare, I step way out here.
I just learned the counter version.
Yoko Gake. In and up.
We'll explain that one later.
Well, why don't we do it here so that people can see a different angle.
Okay.
In and up.
We'll still explain it later.
Yeah. Yoko Otoshi.
We're getting high enough that Sensei and I are a little rusty on these throws. We don't do them as often.
Thank you. Yokoguruma.
These are fun ones.
Oh, Uchimata Tsukashi.
Oh.
Ethan's got a great, I gotta go back and see if I can find it. We got a great video of Ethan doing a wicked Uchimata Tsukashi in tournament. Let's move this forward and do it from the other side. Thank you.
There we go.
It's an Uchimata. You okay there, buddy?
Stop.
It's an Uchimata counter. All right, Harai Makikomi. Remember, Wristakomi, bad. Makikomi, good. Osoto Makikomi. Uchi Makikomi.
Please don't do these to non-judoka.
Yeah, it would be bad. And Soto Makikomi. The Ogoshi of Makikomi.
Awesome.
Cool.
Check time real quick.
Check the time.
5 minutes.
Okay. Koshijime. Face down. Control his weight. Get a choke. And Haragatami.
Oh no.
So those are the brown belt techniques. We're gonna stop for a second, turn it back on again, because of the 10-minute thing on the camera. Still have not figured out how to fix that.
And then we'll explain some of the techniques a little
We'll go
further.
through some of the techniques.
Any of the sacrifices I need them all for.
All right, yes. All right, so let's go through Sumio-toshi. It's Ukiyo-toshi, only to the back corner. Step this foot back. So the key thing here to keep in mind is where he's weak. He's strong this way and that way because of the shape of his foot. It's this way that he's weak. So I want to take him straight that way. And that's where I'm out and making a big circle. But the key thing here is to watch his foot and see exactly what direction you want to go. Same with Ukiyo-toshi. You look at that foot and his toes are weakest. He's weakest in a line from his pinky toe to his middle toe. So I want Ukiyo-toshi to go straight that way, perpendicular to that line. Oguruma.
This one we don't cover very much. When it clicks, it clicks.
So the whole thing, it's another Tewaza, the whole thing is just up and around. Just like that. Yoko Wakare. That's the one. Buzz loves this one. So I'm out here. He's thinking an attack this way. He responds by leaning that way. And I come across. The other place it's useful is as a counter. So he steps in. And I fall across in front of him.
In competition, lift your leg a little higher. In the dojo, you don't have to.
Yeah. Yokogake. This is in the Nage no Kata, in the 4th set. For this one, I'm lifting him up on his toes. And then a good hard smack to his outside foot. It's like a Kuriya Shibarai, but we're not moving. So up on his toes. Uke lands on his back. Tori lands on his side. I hate this one.
Don't do this unless you have a good mat.
Yeah. And a good
Practicing
uke.
with blue, it's not painful, but I still feel the fall. Whereas usually with blue, I do some pretty crazy throws and I don't even feel it. So, kind of shows you. It's a strong one.
Yoko.
Guruma?
Yoko Otoshi. No, we just did Yokogake.
Anyways.
Yoko Otoshi is just like Ukiwaza. With Ukiwaza, I sit down to the side and I pull him that way. Yokogake, I sit down straight and I pull him that way. Yoko Otoshi. So I'm sitting down in front of him and I'm taking him sideways.
Lots of Yokos in the brown belt.
There is.
If you haven't noticed.
So the idea is he's tipped this way, I go Yoko Otoshi. He's tipped this way, I can use Ukiwaza. Always go where Uke is leading you, and just take him further in that direction. Siroko Zenyu.
Kazushi, Kazushi, Kazushi.
Yup. Yoko Guruma. So in Yoko Guruma, in this one, I'm sitting super deep in here. This foot doesn't actually touch the ground until I do. And I'm turning sideways to pull him forward. So this foot goes all the way through, and I sit right down. Another Stemuwaza, and then my hands direct him up, over, and into a break fall.
And if your hands are always pulling kind of up, kind of straight, when you do Sutemiwaza, you end up correcting for the fall, and that pulls him straight.
Yeah. Uchimata Tsukashi. Love this one. So he's coming in for Uchimata. I know it's coming. As he flips his foot up, I step this foot out of the way. Let's go around this side. So as he steps in for Uchimata, I step this foot out of the way so he can't sweep it. This hand is going to come up and under his armpit, and I'm going to take the force of his Uchimata and just continue it. This hand, I'm holding underneath here, and I'm making a big circle. Talk to Sensei Steve about judo for 5 minutes, and he'll be talking about circles, because it fits so well. So you're just making a big circle, and you're using the energy that Uke has put into his Uchimata. You're completing his Uchimata with him.
2 life hacks. First one, if you're a lefty, makes it easier. Sensei is going to go for that Uchimata right-handed. I step out of the way and look at this.
Oh, yeah.
I got my sleeve, I got this. Easy peasy. I'm short and left-handed, that's why I love this throw.
Yeah.
Second life hack, Uke, just do Uchimata.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. If they step out, keep doing Uchimata. Don't slow down to try to be nice. You're not, you're taking their Kazushi away.
And if you're Uke and he doesn't step out of the way of your Uchimata, throw him.
Yeah.
The whole point of this is you gotta commit. That's why it's so important when you're being Uke, don't dive. Because if you dive, the evaluator doesn't get to see Tori's technique. All he sees is Uke's break falls. So in any of these sorts of things where it depends on the motion of Uke, Uke is just doing Uchimata. So just do an Uchimata and throw yourself into it. And if you end up flat on your back, that's exactly the way it's supposed to go. And if Tori ends up flat on his back,
That's
well,
on him.
we need to polish
That's on him.
something.
That's not your fault.
Yep. All right, Harai Makakomi. For all the Makakomis, the most important thing is get this hand deep. Big ol' high five to that imaginary person behind. This has to be tight. I've seen in competitions, I've seen it in Randori, where people do wristakomis, where they kind of wrap down here and they try to execute something and it sucks. It just doesn't work. So any of the Makakomis, I've got a good grip here and I pull them in tight. Then the other thing I want to do, let's take half a step towards the mat because you're going to miss it. The other thing I want to do is this foot here has to step deep. If I step out here, yeah, I can control it better if it fails, but I give up the Kazushi that my weight creates. So here, my left foot super deep. And I made that an Uchimata Makakomi. Square? So, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to step deep and I'm going to keep my right foot outside for the sweep. That was better.
The Makakomis are a little bit of an exception, but one of the things to get through the brown belt test as well, I guess Yokogake isn't, but apart from Yokogake, all of them pretty much need to be done fast.
Yes, yes.
If you do a Makakomi
Halfway.
and you stop and you rest, you've let
Not gonna
go,
happen.
you're going to loosen up, it's not going to be as pretty.
Yeah.
You just need to go.
From there, once you know any of the Makakomis, you functionally know all of them. Soto Makakomi, Osoto Makakomi, thank you. Step deep, high five to that dude behind me, and my weight goes into it. I always think of this stuff, I don't compete, so I always think from a self-defense point of view.
Oh, this stuff would be rough.
Tell me on a parking lot that wouldn't end the fight.
I know how to do break falls and I don't like these. I can't imagine somebody who doesn't.
Yeah. Uchimakakomi is just Uchimata. Soto Makakomi, like I said earlier, the Ogoshi version of Makakomi. In. And then from there, Koshijime, which is just a clock choke.
We go into a lot of detail on this one in the
Submissions.
chokes.
Shimiwaza
bars.
video. So for this one, lift your body up a bit. My hand is across here. My other hand goes across like this, and then I turn. That's it.
And,
And
pinches,
as
pinches his shoulders together.
Yeah, I pinch my shoulder and his shoulder down. I pull my shoulder blades together, and I sit this foot out. If you've got the top part tight, you won't even get to this part before Uke's tapping out. Unless you're going with Sensei Steve, and then
Then you get like halfway around.
Then
His
you-
body's making shapes you didn't think it could.
Steve neck is a thing. It really is. And Haragatami, I'm hanging on to him around here, and this arm comes across. What happens if I don't hang on here? Yeah, it just keeps going. And if I'm doing it in any kind of a competition, he just turns it around. Defend yourself? Yeah, he just turns it around and I lose. So that's why I've got to have, somehow, I got to have this side this way, but I got to have it. All right, so that, what's that?
We've switched places.
We have. So that is the brown belt test. As always, if you got any questions, info@medhatjudo.com, Facebook Messenger, medhatjudo, Facebook comment on this video in Facebook. Give me a call, send me a text, 403-580-6666. We have a whole bunch of senseis who are downright eager to answer your questions. And the other thing is, go back through Facebook, the Facebook page, yellow, orange, green, blue, and brown. So if you're going for your brown belt, you need to know, I'm going to ask you, Ogoshi, Ippon Seoinage, Tai Toshi. Because if your Ogoshi stinks, your Soto Makikomi is going to stink. So make sure that you're solid on those.
And like I said on the blue belt test, I did Ogoshi as my first throw and on my black belt test.
Yeah.
So they really do test you on everything.
We need to know, because Ogoshi captures a whole bunch of really important concepts. And if you don't have those concepts, your Ogoshi will suck. And if your Ogoshi sucks, your
Soto Makikomi is
going to suck. Your Tawara Gaishi is going to be weak. You're missing those basic concepts. So, questions, give me a shout. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you all when I can ask questions or make comments and people respond right away. I'm looking forward to having people back here in person. In the meantime, stay safe, take care, and thanks for joining us. That was funny. Who are we bowing to?